fucking live. This is Kicking It with Kist, episode 5. And I got my brother in here, the man, the myth, the legend, Anthony Quaglia. What's poppin', Brody?
Ain't nothing much.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. Doing good.
Yeah, living. Same shit, different day, huh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Another day, another dollar.
Grinding. I know. You already know, we know. For those of you that don't know, we work together. So, and I mean, we've been doing glass together for what? Probably about 6-7 years now?
Glass together?
Maybe 5 years.
Probably 5, 6, but we were at the Dubs for a solid year before that. Yeah.
The B-Dubs, 15
we got
Utica.
some history.
We were in there. We had all of our young boys in there. We were clowning. Jake D was in there.
Oh, Devin Bauman. Rye Stein.
Isaiah.
Yeah.
We were wilding.
That
was a fun time. But yeah, now we've been doing glass for a minute. I mean...
Yeah, I've been doing glass for I'm coming up on my 8th year.
Technically, what qualifies you to be a journeyman?
Honestly, dude, they say it's 4 years in your trade, but that's mostly union terms, you know.
Because I was gonna say, who the fuck is it?
Pretty much, if you're a journeyman, if you just, if you know what you're doing. I guess I couldn't say if you know what you're doing because, a lot of people, they do know what they're doing. But,
yeah.
When it just comes secondhand, which there's a bunch of us,
I mean, now the way that we've been into it, we've been doing it for a while. And there's shit still that you learn every day. It's fucking crazy.
Oh, yeah. You learn
so
new shit
deep
every
into
day.
It, But the skilled trades, man.
I don't want to say it's the way to go,
people,
because I don't want to write off, college, because I do think that, college does serve its purpose for, certain individuals, but...
Yeah, school is for some people, definitely. But the trades, I feel like...
The trades is where I got it in.
Yeah.
And with you, too. The trades, that allows you to... It allows you to, use your work ethic to... determine your future, basically. So, if you know what you want, and you're willing to work for it, the trades will provide that,
Get them hands dirty. That's the problem, though. A lot of young people nowadays aren't. The trades are kind of struggling, I feel like, to find younger cats that want to work.
Everywhere we go, dude, it's we always hear it. People aren't, people don't want to work. Shit's late, jobs are pushed back, it's affecting everything.
It's fucking hard to find good help right now.
And that's not talked about, but we live this shit every day, so
we're in that loop.
We know.
We're in that loop. But yeah, so how do you feel about the skilled trades as opposed to the college route and the schooling and the I mean, because you're still, in my opinion, getting education when you're getting into the skilled trades. Because first off, you could choose to go to trade school, but you don't have to, and you could just learn by doing.
Yeah, if you're a hands-on learner, you get your job, as soon as you can, and you start learning. I'm definitely a hands-on learner, and when I started working in glass, I feel like I picked up on pretty quick, and I wanted to just be involved,
The glass is kind of difficult, you know what I mean? And the skilled trades as a whole, if you're not willing to get your hands dirty and then put in the work in a little bit of the time and then be coachable, because you know how it is.
No douut.
Especially when we were young, starting out,
Glazing is especially, kind of unique because it includes just about, I don't know, not just about, but a vast majority of the trades, millwork and carpentry and
I didn't know fucking dog shit about carpentry.
Until
I started glazing.
And glazing, it's you got to incorporate all of the the designs and the building and the fabrication and everything. It's not just everything's not just ordered from the factory and you go and install it. We get these things in on 20-foot lengths, right? And we turn that shit into fucking.
And how many times fucking are we on these jobs and we literally are carpenters and fucking electricians were wiring shit and
all day,
framing out fucking
nearly half of the shit that we do.
But the trades, though, I definitely feel like you said, if you're a hands-on learner, especially, the trades are a good route.
Oh yeah,
the trades are good, and especially if you're young and you're willing to work hard, they need that. The trades need that, and it's dying out.
Yeah, see, I never knew what I really wanted to do. Like, that's seriously, I was like graduating high school. I was I could have gone a number of places. That's another topic, but I was going to go to U of D Mercy, and I was accepted into their dental program. Got a nice scholarship. It was like $40,000 a year scholarship.
And then what happened with that?
I just didn't fall through. It didn't fall through. My plans changed kind of after high school. A lot of shit going on in my life. Yeah.
And just like that though.
Well, with the scholarship, it's still an expensive school, and with my parents separating and whatnot, and it's like that was kind of taken off the table. But we could have made it happen, but just responsibly. Schools. I didn't wanna go through that and take out loans for that kind of money or nothing. And I actually decided to join the Air Force.
Yeah. That was fucking sweet. You were dead set on doing that. I was. Man. You had all of it fucking mapped out. All of it mapped out.
Yeah, I got a 92 on my ASVAB, which is pretty high. I was looking at.
What is that?
It's the aptitude test for the military. Just tests you on a number of things. Right. And I don't know. I got a really good score. I was looking at pretty much any job that I really wanted. Some high level jobs. And
what were you planning on doing for work through them?
Well,
what were the jobs you were thinking about?
I picked 5 different ones. Because that's how, at least it worked for me. You couldn't just pick whatever you wanted. You would pick, 5 jobs that interested you, and you'd be happy with either one that you got. And, but what I do know is I was offered different jobs than say someone else who may have tested lower on the ASVAB. Yeah. But yeah, I went to MEPS. I was a week before going to boot camp. And I broke my ankle.
Talk about that. Yeah, not just broke your ankle. You broke the fuck out of your ankle.
I broke it in 2 spots. Ooh. Yeah. My fibula fully cracked in 2 spots. On the court, bro. On the court. I was wilding, bro, dunking.
Hey, ball is life.
No, I did. I dunked on Ben. And I was showboating.
Ben Harm.
Yeah. I was hanging from the rim, and I was showboating, Yeah. Came down, he stuck his foot out, bro, and I landed on his foot. He's gonna be so bitter.
He's gonna be like, "You guys really said you dunked on me?"
I mean,
you got dunked on.
The people gotta know.
He took that fucking broken in 2 spots, though.
Dude, 30 fucking screws.
That was terrible. How many surgeries did you have to fucking get?
2 surgeries on that foot because of that incident, and then I've also had 2 surgeries on my other foot.
Why?
Just because of I guess, so while I was healing from that initial injury, I don't know, it was just overcompensating, on my right leg, and it was just bothering the hell out of me for, quite some time, and I finally, went into the doctors. I don't really, frequent the doctor's office. Yeah, I don't fuck with it. But, my doctor told me that it was, an old fracture, that I had been walking around on it for a month, and you just it. Well, I broke a piece of my bone off, and it in your foot, it moves and shit opens up, and it got lodged in some tendons, and it was just causing pain. It was not too good.
So total, how many surgeries did you have on both feet?
4. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Yeah, so you still have any screws or whatnot?
Yeah, all that's in there. That's part of the reason why I wasn't allowed to be in the military.
It's tough. And you still work like a fucking
I recovered. My recruiter was, with me throughout the whole recovery and everything, and he was really persistent on the fact that I should get the screws and all the metal removed. and I went to a number of like visits with different surgeons, like asking about, you know, the removal of them, and they all advised not to
keep it in.
And yeah, the recruiter was actually pretty upset.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if like he gets some bonus or something because of like a high ASVAB score or something,
yeah.
but like
he was pursuing high.
Like I'm like, dude, the doctors are telling me it's not like good to get these things removed. And I'm like,
fucking get to it.
I'm like, man, but at the same time, my whole life was fucking flipped, bro. Like, and it happened twice. I changed the course of my life twice.
So how long was that? Like that whole span between like when you first fucked up your foot up until the time where you fucked up the other one, like in between both recoveries? Like how many years was that process?
I would say the initial injury happened like within the first year, like, and then, you know, the second surgery was just kind of like because it wasn't fully solved the first time.
Yeah.
You know, so that came like 6 months after. So
that's fucking tough, man.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, you still fucking though come into work and work like a fucking dog. Bro. So how much does that, like, throughout the day, I mean, when you're fucking going on a 10-hour fucking day, you're doing a 10 and you're carrying 50-pound pieces of glass all day, your shit's gotta be rocking. Your feet.
Yeah, I mean, it hurts, especially in the changes of, like, the weather. Like, I never fully understood that, like, until I got these surgeries. Like, you know, you do feel it in your bones. Like, it's kind of crazy.
What do you think that is? The weather changing?
I don't know. I honestly have no idea.
That's fucking crazy.
I've heard some explanations, like it's the density in the air and stuff, but you know, I don't really know too much to...
That's fucking wild, though. But hey, I mean, it's crazy that they can fucking do that shit, though, bro. Like, think about back in the day. Back in the day, like, you break the fuck out of your foot and your foot's broken, and that's it. Now they can put screws in your fucking shit.
Yeah,
and screw
I got a bionic leg, bro. You don't want to get this.
Like, what's going on? No, yeah, that'll hurt. You're getting some metal to the dome. Yeah. But no, yeah, I mean the 9 to 5. So me and you are both working, man.
Yeah.
We have been, you know, our whole young adult life, and that's what we know. You know, we were brought up on that, but me and you both have strong views on what life is really supposed to be like. And are you supposed to spend all your time fucking working the 9 to 5, same grind, same fucking bullshit every day? I personally, you know,
I think that it could serve its place in your life as a stepping stone, for sure. Yes. You know, like I don't think life is all about the 9 to 5. Yeah, I'm spiritual, you know, like I'll talk about that, you know, but you know, if you really you can be spiritual and logical too at the same time and really like see things kind of for what they are.
Yeah.
You know, like what goes on in the world today, you know, we can talk about it.
We were just talking earlier. Like this morning, me and this guy are in the fucking van working. We're just talking. And I'm telling you that the way that people get gripped into this life that they feel like they have to live, where they don't pursue any of their real true passions or things that are going to make them happy or feel fulfilled. They just do what they think is expected of them. And that's a big problem in today's society. You know, almost like we were saying with the Matrix, where it's just a wake up, hit the alarm, go to work, come home, eat dinner, whatever the fuck else you do, go to bed, wake up, do it. And then you're supposed to do that for 60 years, 70 years, and then try to live off of fucking whatever type of retirement you have. And then...
See, I just, I think in today's day and age, it's, everything's so material based that we think that we need to have like X amount to retire.
Yeah.
Like it is fact though that you do need money, you know, if you want to retire because you know, you can't go live anywhere without having to pay some type of taxes. You know, you could go try and live as off grid as you want. You know, you're gonna have to pay some taxes, and that means you got to be making some income
all day.
You know,
all day.
But really, you know, do what you love. Love what you do. Like seriously,
like you said,
you hear that a lot.
5 the 9 to 5 though, definitely, it's something that solidifies a lot of core values.
Oh yeah.
Responsibility, being on time, showing up, performing, even failing while you're working and learning from your mistakes. A lot of that shit is very good and very beneficial.
Yeah, you should be able to take the good away from it, you know, as much as people want to say that, you know, they hate the 9 to 5, which, you know, I don't necessarily hate the 9 to 5. I respect it.
Yes.
I don't necessarily want to do it.
For sure. Well,
but like,
you know, it handles
it serves its purpose, man. You know, that's how I eat. You know, I'm in full control of, you know, how much money I can make, if I want to, like, how hard I want to work. Like, do I want to work X amount of hours this week? Like, I can. You know, we can. The jobs, like, the work is out there.
All day. And you get a taste of what it's like to really, like, when you're doing it in the weeds and we're fucking working like dogs, and you sit there and think, do I want to be doing this for 40, 50 years?
No.
And then you see the old guy that you're working next to and you say, nah. But you use it and you manage your life. You live by your means. Put aside some money. Give yourself some wiggle room. And then just keep fucking working off of your ideas.
Yeah, I started doing glass in 2015. I was only 17 years old, and I mean, Dennis and I we helped out in the shop, you know, pushing brooms and shit, unloading trucks, you know, like in high school and stuff, just because his dad, you know, that was his shit over there. Mm-hmm. He's the one who got us into glass, you know, at a young age, and ultimately I had kind of abandoned that idea, you know, because in high school, I knew it would be like, you know, a good trade to get into, but, you know, like I said, I had other plans, you know, but my plans had changed, and luckily, hey, the trades were there, you know, the trades weren't going nowhere. I had that to fall back on, and, you know, I had to pay bills, I had to pay medical bills at the time, I didn't have health insurance, like, that was all out of pocket, you know, that was crazy, and that was like worse than student loans. Like off rip, and I didn't even go to school yet. So after the military like fell out, I just working in glass, traveling, bro. Traveling was a big part of it. Yeah. Like when I first started, it was right in the mix. Traveling probably
just hit the road.
I would say the greater half of the year. You know, I would say upwards of maybe 40 weeks out of the year I was traveling for like the first 3 years. And when I say traveling, I'm talking like East Coast, like all everywhere.
Yeah, 8-hour drive, 12-hour drive.
8, 12, 14, like on top of a 60-hour work week. Like, and I'm talking, I'm consistent 70, 80 hours. Fat checks. Dude,
loving that shit.
And honestly, that's what helped me like get out of what I was in, you know, and where I'm at right now. Like I put my head down, bro, and I traveled. I did what I had to do, worked them hours, and came back from the road. You know, good amount of money saved up, bought a house. Basically, ever since then, just been dealing with that, you know, like being a homeowner, shit, that's a whole different story that, you know, I wasn't really, like used to. It's definitely a learning curve, but,
how long you been a homeowner now?
When did I get the place? I'd say 2019. Yeah. Like September 2019.
There's a lot of fucking benefits though that come with being a homeowner.
Oh yeah.
You know? Yeah. And it's yours.
It is, you know, and, you know.
And you can always sell it and make money.
I think, you know, owning a home is good. You know, there's pros and cons to everything. You know, and depending on your life and your goals or like what you want, you know.
And your situation, like you said, your situation. It's like not everyone can go buy a house.
No, personally, in my situation, I just had to, you know, I had to go out on my own, and that was, you know, it was what was out there. The market was, you know, actually really good. It was a buyer's market when I bought my house, and I bought it before the market went crazy. You know, like the market went crazy, and then like, man, I was thinking about selling, you know, for a while just because I felt like I'd be stupid if I didn't take, you know, all these profits that I got just because the market went up. But
yeah. And it's an investment at the same time.
Yeah.
And me and you were just talking about earlier today about how people don't know. Everybody thinks that to buy a house or a piece of property, you have to have a fuck ton of money.
No.
People don't understand how easy it is to get a loan.
No.
And then what was that one loan me and you were just talking about earlier?
I was telling you an FHA loan.
Yeah. No, describe that. Because people, if you're trying to buy a house and you think that you need a fucking lot of money, you gotta listen to this. Right
so personally, I financed my house with a conventional loan because the interest rate that I was offered was, better, and plus I got concessions, in my deal, which is basically the person who's selling the house is, putting up some money that's going to cover like closing costs and whatnot. Couldn't be used for down payment though, so I had a little extra money after closing costs to buy down my interest rate. So like I got a pretty good interest rate, and it was pretty good that I got concessions on the deal.
So the FHA loan.
The FHA loan, it's you just need 2% down.
Yeah.
And
so instead of the conventional loan, which you need,
conventional loan is 20% down.
Yeah.
And so that's with the way the market is right now. I mean, that's a hefty chunk of change right there.
See, I'm not really a big guy in real estate at all. Like, how is the market right now?
Well, so the market, it was definitely up sky high, like fucking all-time highs not too long ago, and it's like right now it's in a small pullback. But
what do they say is the word on that?
They were predicting like earlier in the year that that the prices were gonna crash and that we were gonna witness a severe housing crash. But the same people who were predicting that, which are like the big I don't know, the big names like Wells Fargo and all the Forbes and whatnot, they're now saying that the market's supposed to increase in the next year like upwards of 16%. And like they flip-flopped like within a year, and partly like that reasoning is because interest rates are going up and prices are going down, but inventory is still going down.
Okay.
And basically, I don't know, myself and a lot of other people who think this way know that like hedge fund managers, like people who are in charge of like banking investments and stuff and retirement funds and like all that, are in 2022 were investing like the most they ever had been in real estate. And I mean, if you do any type of investing or anything or crypto or like any of that, that prices are high. There's a huge influx. I think there's like some statistic. They bought like 80%. Hedge funds like were responsible for about 80% of homes like sold or bought in the U.S. And like they bought a lot, and it was current like while real estate was at the top of its market. So they made some big investments, on something that is, currently like where we're at in the market right now, it's like less. They're at a loss right now, like on all their investments. Like they probably like see that something's coming. Like those are all 5 to 10 year, long-term investments. And I feel like, I can reanalyze in about 5 years whether or not I want to sell, because I just think the market's just going to do better than where it currently is by quite a lot.
And I mean, there's no harm in waiting,
Yeah. All I'm doing is getting equity.
Exactly. So, but other than that, I mean, when it comes to buying and selling properties, people, like personal people that are into real estate as well as me. I have family, that is into buying and selling real estate. And I mean, do you know anybody that has large scale like properties as well as like renting out like multiple tenant properties? Or because everybody I know just buys and sells homes.
Yeah.
I don't know
I
much
mean,
about
my
like buying
dad's
and
got
selling,
some
like,
experience doing that,
yeah,
you know, and some of his
like an
colleagues, you
apartment
know,
or
yeah, like apartments,
yeah.
condos, you know,
'Cause I heard that's where the
quadplexes,
money's
duplexes.
at.
Like, really, that's a lot of what I'm trying to do,
Yeah.
like right now.
We were saying earlier about how it's like the process.
Yeah.
A lot of people aren't in for that, you know.
It's a lengthy process, but like I mean, if you stick to it, you know, it could be really rewarding.
For sure.
You know, and you just got to think of like the end goal, you know. And if you want some residual income where you can really just give up that 9 to 5 life,
real estate's a good way to go.
Real estate's a good way to go
for sure,
because you can get a FHA loan on a quadplex, you know, ARV maybe like 300, 350, and it's a quadplex, so you got 4 people in there, and they're, I don't know what rent these days is pretty crazy, you know. I'd say on the low end you're paying like $1,200 a month, you know, per unit.
Some basic, yeah.
You know, I'm assuming your mortgage is probably going to be around, you know, I'd say less than $2,000, but just on the high side, say $2,000. You know, off that $1,200, you're cash flowing, you know, $3,000-$4,000 you know, a month.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's easier said than done for sure.
And it is. But I mean, I bet you. I mean, there's probably a lengthy licensing process that you have to go through and test. You know what I mean? Or do you have to? Can you just do all that shit, you know, on your own, without having to be legally licensed in any way? To get into that type of buying and selling market?
I mean, you
just gotta have the money.
You typically do use a realtor.
Yeah.
But a lot of people who do like fix and flips and like stuff in real estate, you know, they have their real estate license.
Yeah.
And I don't have my real estate license. You know, I have, you know, close people to me that have the real estate license. It's
hard to get that, huh?
I mean, define hard.
You ever thought about getting it?
You know,
thinking about getting yours?
Yeah, I wouldn't write it off, but currently it's not really in the plans.
Yeah.
But no, it's I know some people who've taken their test. This one guy I know, he probably took his test 10 times. He was saying like double digits, but he sells like right now currently, like he's been doing it probably just as long as I've been doing glazing, and man,
he's making that.
He puts in the work, and yeah, he's making that cheese.
I'm telling you,
I
know there's no money in
it. There's a lot of money in real estate.
Especially
there's no
like
doubt.
You said, that goes along with
you also need that time to invest into it though too.
Yeah.
You know, when we're working these like 60-hour weeks, sometimes 70-hour weeks, this shit, it gets kind of hard to focus on other things.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Because you know, at the end of the day, I have responsibilities. I got to maintain my house. You know, I got to be a good boyfriend. I got to, you know, take care of dogs. I got to, you know,
everything, man.
Be a functioning member of society. Like all this.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. We got shit to do, and luckily we work for people that understand that.
Yeah, no doubt.
That makes it easier to go in a little bit, especially, you know, when it's like, yeah, we take pride in what we do. So when we go into work, we're going in there. We're gonna be dogs. We're gonna do our best.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean, you know, don't mean we love to do it. We're gonna show up and show out.
No, but I mean that's how we grew up too. You know, we got it in playing sports. You know, that's a big part of like what shaped me. I know that's a big part of what shaped you. Yeah. But that like hard work.
You played hockey all your life, right?
Yeah, my whole life.
Yeah. Travel hockey.
Yeah, I was pretty serious with it.
For real.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah. No, that's actually like the big majority of my whole childhood and like early teens. And even some of my late teens.
But I remember when we played 7th grade football. You played for that one year. Remember you played running back?
Yeah.
That was fire.
Yeah. I went off that year. 7th grade, baby.
Athletics are so. I mean, I'm a sport junkie, so it's like, and I feel that they're so important because you learn so much from participating in any type of activity like that, but especially physical activity, and especially when you're with the team. Or even solo stuff, just the lessons that you learn and the values that you learn, and the way that you learn how to get along with people, and just to learn about loss.
Sports really helps you learn how to deal with loss too, bro.
Can humble the fuck out of you real quick,
dude.
You know, And a lot of people don't ever experience that.
No.
I feel like I said, especially when you're young.
Dude, I've had hockey coaches, man, that will make you fucking cry.
You were just talking about, too, how inspiring, like, a coach or someone like that can be to a young man.
Well, dude, someone like me, like, I grew up with that, like, you know, hockey coach screaming in my face. Like, honestly, I've never, like, outside of like travel hockey, I've never witnessed this type of coaching style in any fucking other sport.
Like
dude.
that, huh?
Like, dude, all of them. Write them out. I'll make a list. Like, I've had one coach in like intermission, like in between like the second and third period, we're taking too many penalties one day. He fucking comes in, man, to every person, like every penalty they had, he did it to them. Like, he grabs them up, he's like, oh, you want to fucking take a cross-checking penalty? At least make it fucking good. This is a fucking cross-check.
And then
wrecks this dude. Fucking, I'm talking a 14-year-old kid.
Straight
and like, oh, you want to take a slashing penalty? You may as well make it worth it. This is a slash.
Yeah.
Boom. Fucking.
And it's a lot. It's a lot, especially when they're kids, when they're younger. Like, some parents, like, people will look at that and like, what the fuck?
Yeah, dude, I got this one story, like, crazy coach story, and this involves Cole Hampton. He was, you remember C Hammer?
Yes,
he was my
man.
billet brother. He moved from Florida to play hockey with Little Caesars, and my family had volunteered to be his billet family, which is just like, you know, a host family for him to, you know, come here and play hockey. He went to school with us, you know.
Yeah.
And
that was pretty fucking sweet.
We're out there on the ice, and we're practicing special teams. We're on the power play, and I'm usually like on the half wall in this like situation, and Cole likes to take the slot. You know, he's got a wicked one-timer. He scores a lot of goals like that. You know, my job was to feed him the puck, dude, put it in the net. And one of these days we were at normal practice, you know, and Cole kept missing these shots, and he kept missing his one-timers. And our coach, like, we didn't even fucking lose any games, like, recently or anything. We were doing good. Like, it wasn't even a bad practice, but Cole kept missing these one-timers, like, at the end of practice.
He
and
fucking lost it.
Dude, our coach fucking lost it on him. Dude, takes Cole's stick. You know, sticks are like $200, $220, like, at the time.
Yeah.
Like, nowadays, they're almost $300. Like, I mean, my stick was, like, fucking, like, $320, bro. Like, shit's,
For a hockey stick?
Yeah. Yeah, but like back at the time, I mean, still 200, like 220. That shit's a lot for a hockey stick. And dude, my coach Tommy, bro, takes that shit right out of Cole's hands, and he's like, "You don't want to fucking hit these shots." Takes Cole's stick, breaks it into about 6 pieces on the fucking crossbar, like sends Cole off the ice. He's like, "Pick up your stick and fucking get off the ice." Like,
crazy as fuck, like,
bro.
This guy's.
I mean, but that wasn't even like, you know, shit like that happened.
That's
like
crazy.
It was just you know, like,
hockey's brutal. I mean, I feel like most of the hockey coaches are like that, huh?
It really depends, I guess. You know?
Hockey is fucking brutal, man.
Yeah, it definitely you know, physically has taken a toll, but I wouldn't fucking change nothing, man. I love hockey. I love playing it.
Awesome. I wish I knew more about it.
It definitely made me like pretty much into who I am today. You know, pretty much established my work ethic. You know, responsibility.
I mean, you probably still talk to people that you played hockey with.
Yeah,
still know
you know, a lot of people. Like I said, a lot of people I played hockey with are in the NHL currently. Like, I mean, I played with a lot of greatness.
And people always
like,
say
one
that
dude
you can't do it.
I used to carpool, man, with Tyler Parsons, man. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Tyler Parsons. Like, he's
in the NHL now?
We grew up playing hockey together. Yeah. I mean, he, like, shortly after I had, like, stopped playing hockey, you know, he was drafted in the OHL, like, first round as a goalie. Like, I mean, he's filthy, dude. And we always knew he was going places. You know, and there's a number of other names, though, too. Like, I don't want to get, like, too wrapped up into that, though, because, you know, I mean, this was a long time ago, but, I mean, there's probably 15, 20 dudes I used to play with, you know, I know personally that are
that's why, like
drafted in the show, playing in the show.
You were playing top tier.
Well, I could have,
young kid hockey, you know.
Drafted in the North American Hockey League, which is a Tier 3 Junior A league, and you know, Junior A hockey is a pretty big deal. You know, it was to the Topeka Roadrunners, and I also was, you know, invited to Chicago Steel, which is in the USHL, Tier 1 Junior A, to go to their camp, and you know, they were pretty interested.
Oh, but, you could have easily kept pursuing hockey.
But I could have kept pursuing hockey, but like
you were
in the time frame, like everything else that was going on in my life, like I needed to be around, you know, for my family, you know, and like I just I don't know. It was a long like road ahead. Like I didn't want to commit like that many years of my life to, you know, go and play junior hockey and then go play D1 hockey and maybe go play professional hockey afterwards. Like that's, you know,
it's a fucking long road.
That's an 8 to 10 year long like roadmap, and I needed to essentially like make money now, you know, because I had bills to pay. Like,
how the fuck do you make money while you're doing that? You don't. You're too busy.
You know, there's ways. Like you know, there's people, you know, who I've played with, and you know, at the end of the day, I kind of just, you know, I didn't want like that to be like the majority part of my life. You know, like I lived that so long in my childhood. Like I wanted, you know, basically to live a normal life. Yeah, you know, like missing out on everything. Yeah, that was my whole life. You know, from as long as I can remember to fucking after high school, bro.
Yeah, that shit is, and I mean the way that you have to be involved in that to pursue it at those higher levels, as the intensity just gets higher and higher as you progress. There's got to be a vigorous fucking passion for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, otherwise, it's probably not going to work because you're playing with, we were just talking about that with D, about just any type of college sports. Once you get to that next level, like after high school, like even D3, we were talking about D3 football.
Yeah.
Your fucking D3 football is supposed to be the bottom tier college football.
Yeah, but if you want it,
with fucking kids that are
if you want it, dude, like I know people who made it there, you know, to the show from D3. Mm-hmm. You know, it's what are you willing to do? You know, what are you like? What's your commitment level? You know, like me, I personally, I was ready to let it go, and like with everything like going on, it kind of just made it clear that I just needed to get on with the, you know, I need an income right now, and I need to, you know, be able to, you know, provide.
Yeah.
And
because plus too, it takes it away, and when you're like I know how you are as a person, you like to be involved. So if you're trying to do something like that, you can't really be working like what you're doing now. You wouldn't be able to do glass full time. Like you could be doing something like you said, maybe to be having some income, but the way that you got into the trades, you wouldn't have been able to do that if you were fucking.
I really don't like saying that. Oh, you couldn't be doing that now, because honestly, you know, someone out there who wants it, you know, they could.
They could.
You know, I know a couple people who could.
You know, tough, yeah.
Like, you know, Ben could go play some competitive hockey.
Oh, for sure.
Like he's straight up.
I'm saying though, as pursuing it as trying to reach that level of like top tier, you know, like just like how with the fighting, like with me, like I can go fight tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, and I could win, and I could, you know, chase that shit. I'm not saying I can make it to the UFC, but I could make it.
So, like, going on with, like, I really think that, like, you really could. Like, and anybody, like, if you truly want something enough, like, you could go, like, up and do that if you, like, dedicate yourself and you really, like, commit to it. And, like, for me personally, like, the shit that I've, like, been through and experienced, like, throughout my life, like, personally, I just, you know, I'm a private person. Yeah. Like, you know, I got a close group of friends, you know, and everything. But you know, how like I want to retire to like homesteading, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I want to be like it's kind of a conflict though, because I enjoy the company of like family and friends, and like I love that. But I love Michigan.
Yeah.
But like really, it could be anywhere, but I just want to be like self-sufficient. I like farming and gardening and shit, and I want to get into livestock and stuff.
What's your ideal? Like how many acres? I think.
I don't know.
Sufficient.
Ideal acreage. You could really like if you're just thinking of efficiency of being self-sufficient. Like you could do that on you could do that anywhere.
On little property.
But ideally, you want a good amount of land.
I would like to hunt
that's definitely
too.
in the future. Yeah, if you want to hunt, you gotta have some land.
You gotta get some hunting property.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That'd be sick. But being self-sufficient is the wave. A lot of people don't know about that shit.
Well,
I'm about to learn
being self-sufficient.
I'm telling all you guys, all my buddies that hunt, you guys better fucking get me in the I'm trying to start getting my own shit.
For real.
I've been saying it. I'm trying to catch my own meat.
Yeah, no, I didn't grow up in like a household that like hunted.
It's the best way to do it. No,
my dad wasn't a hunter.
My mom's would never kill anything.
I pretty much kind of got into hunting like through my friends and their families, and.
But what better way to fucking eat your meat, your protein, or your vegetables, whatever. If you're gardening it, fruits and vegetables. But if you kill it yourself, and you know that you're the one that processes it, and it's going straight from what you did with it, and you're cooking it.
I don't think it gets much better than that.
Fuck all that, from the grocery store.
There's a big stigma on like venison and stuff, and like it's gross.
Venison
or it tastes
is good.
Like, dude, it's that
you
deer
can
has
cook it a bunch of
been
different ways.
Depending on like where you like took that deer, what it's been eating like its whole life.
Exactly.
Like and at the end of the day, it's in nature.
Someone's gonna say that, but then they're gonna go fucking buy a fucking garbage, piece of meat at the grocery store that's fucking shot up. Remember we were talking about the other day, the chickens on the belt, on the conveyor belt.
How they're on a conveyor belt, like
what the
shit
fuck is up
messed
with that?
up.
People will eat that shit though.
Fully grown chickens in like what?
I told weeks? You ever since I started buying the grass-fed beef, I won't buy I will try not to buy just regular beef.
Yeah.
Because it's different.
Yeah, no, for sure, and it. Definitely.
Obviously, the less stuff it has in it, the better, But it's hard to tell. Like I told you, I would like to go just farmer's market, but the best, like you said, the cream of the crop is just doing it yourself.
Yeah.
You can get you a little garden going,
Yeah. No, honestly, it's just
fruits and veggies.
I just think like, it's a touchy subject.
Yeah.
I'm kind of, I'm pretty conservative. I have, views from all across the board, but for the most part, like I'm pretty conservative.
And we were just talking about that earlier too.
I think the biggest part of it is like I just I don't want to say I'm anti-government, but like I just think that the amount of reach that the government has into everybody's personal lives is just it's fucked. It's straight up fucked.
Very.
But I just think that I don't know. I just personally would like to be out, providing for myself, not having to worry about, what the government is like doing or having to say about anything.
Just driving up to the UP, and when we were driving up there for work, I was looking like, man, like there's some places you would like to have some land.
Yeah. I
feel like anybody that ends up coming into enough money to where they're generating some actual wealth, and you can buy yourself some property. I know I want a piece of property that's off the grid.
Oh, yeah.
Just because you never know when they're going to come.
Dude, and it's just nice to, be out there and enjoy nature. Having a place up north.
I got to live in the city, though.
Yeah.
I'm a city guy. I fucking lived in the city my whole life. I don't want to go fucking a half hour to get to the grocery store for a gallon of milk, or in the middle of the night, like something. But whatever. I love though to stay away. Like that's why I would, having a cottage somewhere, a cabin, whatever it is, some type of property. a getaway, to get up the nature, like you said. That's another thing. People don't get enough of that. Is nature.
No, and honestly, nature.
Just riding up to the UP the other week, I was, man, Michigan's so fucking so beautiful.
Nature is the key to it all, man. If you're spiritual, you know,
you have to be in tune.
Like that's a major aspect of being able to I don't know, fully like dive into your spirituality.
For sure. Yeah, and a lot of people don't know that. They don't really get in tune and in depth with nature.
Yeah, no, I mean that, and amongst like, you know, other things, you know, I might mention psychedelics, you know, that have like definitely helped me like get in tune, you know, with really, you know, it really helps you sharpen yourself. I think, you know, when you really get in tune with yourself and nature and on different like scales, you know.
Yeah, for sure. I personally know that psychedelics, if I never would have fucking took psychedelics and tripped the fuck out, you know, and I've had good trips and I've had bad trips, and I've dabbled enough now with them to know that shit will help you. It can fuck some people up.
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of people seem to think
there's
that,
a lot
like,
that goes into it.
A lot of people say like, oh, if you're not in a good like mindset, you know, don't do that, like this and that. But like, you know,
I mean, you talked about that.
I can't really speak on, you know, other people's experiences.
Yeah.
But like personally, I've done like psychedelics on like both mindsets. You know, like really, it doesn't really matter. It really just, you know, puts everything right there out on the line for you, and like, you know, highlights everything that you really need to focus on.
And it's the stigma. It's like mushrooms. Like, oh, shrooms. Like, yeah, like, you know, or whatever. I'm not like an acid guy or anything. I like the shrooms.
Yeah.
And I told you, I one time ate like about 6 grams of mushrooms. And I was just like so fucked up. I was so sketched out. It turned out like to just be like, ooh, like it was so overwhelming. And I had to calm myself down. And I had to be like, tell myself, you know, like I'm all fucking can't go to sleep. Shut my eyes, tripping the fuck out.
Like, do that.
And I had to calm myself down and just be like, dude, it's just shrooms, you know, you'll be alright. And woke up the next day. But like you said, you have a lot of these spiritual awakenings, and you know, you don't have that shit just in regular everyday life.
No.
I don't give a fuck what anybody says. And I mean, it's not for everybody. That's what I say. Like the psychedelics, they can fuck some people up. Me personally, though, I've only had beneficial, even coming from, we were talking about that, you can still have a bad, like, even if it was a bad trip, the experience that you have, the experience I had when I was having that bad trip.
Your end of the day, your takeaway at the end of the day is positive.
I said, that was me telling myself, you take yourself too seriously.
Yeah.
And I was letting it get to my head. I was so fucked. And once I told myself, I said, all right, like, don't take yourself so fucking seriously. Just be who you are, and, you know, who gives a fuck, and just roll with it. And I came to that sense, and I went from that place of being fucking, you know, it went from bad to,
yeah, no doubt.
What can I take from this?
You went through that, you know, you would call bad trip, you know, but, you know, in hindsight, you know, reflecting on it, you know, it ended up turning out positive.
You know,
so. But I don't know. I feel like psychedelics got to be used, you know, responsibly though.
Yeah.
And that
there's even people that microdose.
It's not all for me. You know, I can't speak about like anybody else, but like for me, like I've never really, you know, done any drug, you know, besides alcohol, like just sole intentions to get fucked up. Yeah. You know, like you can't really like if that's how you're looking at like, you know, psychedelics, then I don't really think, you know, your interpretation on a bad trip might be different. Yeah. You know, it might be a negative outcome. Yeah. So like I don't know. It could be all situational, but I recommend.
Well, we talked about what really is it though. What is it when you take those and when you go to that place?
It's like trying to explain a color to a blind person.
You don't know. It's like another realm. Yeah. And you're like in this spot. Like when I was blowed the fuck out like on mushrooms, I'm literally like thinking to myself like, what the fuck? You know?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
But you answer your own questions and stuff.
You know? It's go talk to the fucking aliens or whatever. Yeah. That shit it's crazy. Some people never experience that shit.
No. Well, I feel like because a lot of the time it's associated with people, you know, like a party drug or something like that. Like you know, it's like,
oh my gosh.
I've never even done nothing like that in public. You know, like I don't know.
But it's being in the shrooms. Yeah, isn't something you fucking walk around and. No. It's not like weed. You know, like weed. Especially nowadays, you fucking walk around, you smoke a joint, you smoke a blunt. Who gives a fuck? People smoke it all around, outside, inside. They grow it. The government sells it. It's weed now. Yeah. You know, who cares? It used to be a drug. If you still think weed's a drug, you're just a narc. But
no, for real.
Other than that, like shrooms is becoming like that too.
It's seriously like helping people too.
Shrooms is going to be legal.
Not speaking for there's obviously a big amount of people who smoke just to get high.
Oh, weed, for sure.
We will like to say that weed does help, like seriously for
but
people.
It's alright if you want to get high,
dude. Have you ever seen like videos of like Alzheimer's patients or Parkinson's? Like after they consume some THC, like regardless of how they consume it, it's like their tremors just are, they can operate normal.
Really?
And it like there's other, things that it like helps with like medicinally, but
yeah,
man, there's no denying
all types of shit. It helps with anxiety, people that have sleeping problems, people that have eating problems, all types of shit. Kids, it helps with cancer patients. They put it in food now. They put it in drinks. They put it in drops. You don't even have to smoke it. And the benefits that they found that it has outweigh all the fucking. Like I said, it's crazy to me that there's people that are serving time over weed. Mm-hmm. Shit is ludicrous.
I think there's a little bit of a gray area too, though, when it comes to like marijuana and stuff, and like consuming that. Like when it comes to like children, though, like when it starts to become like so normalized that like children are starting to do it and stuff, I think then we have a problem, because like there are studies also on like young people, and like if you're smoking like at a super super young age, I don't necessarily recommend that.
No,
I can't say that.
Your brain isn't fully developed.
Yeah,
and it could definitely probably slow that process. Yeah, but because I don't know when you I started smoking weed when I was probably about 12, 13, I was smoking weed as a kid. Not as much as I smoke now, but that shit, I mean, when you're a kid, you shouldn't be, like, just as with a lot of drugs, like, even if it's something prescribed, like, that's why I'm saying, like, unless it's gonna be beneficial, like you said, like, if it's weed, if it's the THC that's used as a medicinal purpose for a younger child.
So for me, like I was always like I've dealt with anxiety for a really long time, and ADHD, and like there's like growing up with that, like it really it was tough. It was really confusing, and like I would say it was a little different, and really when I first like learned about like weed, it helped with with my my symptoms of anxiety, and like,
oh yeah,
you know, I liked it for that aspect,
yeah.
you know, and also like insomnia, man. Like I found that, you know, when I was younger, you know, and I was sneaking it, it was normally around like, you know, it was late hours, you know, and you know, it helped me go to sleep. Like honestly, I'm serious with that insomnia stuff. It's not just like, oh, I can't like go to sleep. I'm talking like, you know, up till like
That's
4 or 5 in the morning, and you're not even watching TV or on your phone or nothing. And you got to wake up at 6, 7 o'clock, and you do that.
It's terrible because that shit wears on you.
Yeah,
I hate it because, you know, I'm the same way. It's fucking tough for you to get sleep, especially when you got to wake up early. You're fucked.
Oh yeah.
By midday the next day, your body's just fucking hating you. But the weed now, it's crazy. I mean, if you still look at it like that, like I said, you're just a fucking narc. I mean, and it's
I mean, you really just gotta open up your mind.
Yeah, you know, and it's not for everybody.
No.
I'm not that type of person to force it on somebody. Like, yeah, you should do this. Like, no. If you don't want to smoke weed, you don't gotta smoke weed. No. But if someone's smoking weed, who gives a shit? It's not crack. It's not heroin. You know, it's not a drug.
Dude, I really think that, you know, like marijuana, weed, whatever, like it is looked at, you know, in a negative light. But like I said about like people opening up their mind and stuff, like I went through, you know, my surgeries and stuff, and you know, I was prescribed, you know, Norcos and stuff. And I woke up, I didn't mention this earlier, I woke up during my surgery, my first surgery, because the anesthesia wasn't enough. Like I was fully under general anesthesia, you know, breathing tubes, the whole nine. And yeah, I woke up during the surgery.
Hell no.
I don't really like remember too much about it besides just terrible pain. You know,
they just
like
fucking put you right back to
well,
sleep?
they did something. They shot me up with something.
Knocked you
know, and I was out cold after that. But like
I
feel like
be bugging.
I feel like because of that, like that happening, like they overprescribed me, like my initial, you know, prescription, and that you know, that's no joke, bro. I followed the doctor's, you know, directions, and you know, it definitely led to what I would consider, you know, an addiction, you know, and that was a terrible time. You know, my recovery stage of breaking my ankle, I don't even really remember like 3 months, bro, out of my life.
Yeah.
Like, and I wasn't even, that was me doing what you know, the government says, you know, how society thinks that we should treat everything, you know, and I'm not alone, dude. There's millions of people who probably have gone through that same thing and maybe didn't make it out how I made it out.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, I'm, like, thankfully, like, I never sought for that outside of my prescription. So, like, once that, like, was up, you know, I was, you know, I did go through, like, withdrawal. Like, I was prescribed, like, a lot. You know, and I may have or may not have, you know, began to abuse them towards the end.
Yeah.
But like,
and a lot of people do that.
I can't really explain that because, like, you know, if you've known me, you know, like for a long time, you know, that's totally like it's not in my character, but like that's what, like, I simply followed the instructions, and then like towards the end, like it like became like a noticeable thing, and like. After the prescriptions, like it was like, you know, withdrawals, but like going through that, you know, and like that was added so much shit, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like, but comparing it to something like marijuana, you know, like I'm not sure there are like, you know, pain alternatives that are, you know, marijuana that are offered and stuff, but like, you know, I can't say to whether or not they worked, but like knowing like what I know now, like in hindsight, like I would have done anything different than like taking those prescriptions.
For sure.
Like I would have rather done nothing, like because that, you know, that's no joke. And I don't know.
They want you to get doped up, though.
They do. I feel like they do.
Isn't it
I
like
mean,
you said
but
you
they
were
don't
following the doctor's orders?
I don't really want to say that like the doctors are like, like
No.
I'm gonna do this. You know,
Some
I
people
think
just
it's
fool
like
you
it's a
for it.
part of it's just a part of a lot of stuff that's
Deeper.
not necessarily right. You
Yeah.
know, like
Yeah.
everything is everyone's after like profits these days, including like, you know, medical companies and insurance companies and stuff. And it's like not a lot of people know that like these insurance companies and maybe these what am I saying? Pharmaceuticals, like manufacturers, like they give incentives to doctors, you know, to give shit out. So it's like, you know, these doctors, they think in their head like, oh, this works for their symptoms, like I'm gonna do this, you know, not really thinking too deep into it. You know, they get how many patients every week, you know, they're not really, you know, they're just doing what they're taught to do. You know,
that's their job.
But like in the grand scheme of things, it's just, you know, the bigger picture. It's not for the.
There's a lot of money
person.
that's pumped into that shit.
Oh,
it's all pumped in, and it's all meant for money making purposes.
There's a lot of medical malpractice that gets swept under the rugs, dude. That's not ever talked about, you know, because that's a touchy situation, dude. Because people who are like grieving and stuff aren't necessarily gonna want to be confrontational, you know. So it's like I feel like that particular industry gets away with a lot.
Fuck yeah.
And you know, I want to do everything that I can to just minimize that.
Mark Cuban, how he's got the prices down?
Yeah,
it's
dude.
pretty sweet.
And he's actually doing a lot for that. He's dope.
That guy he's a baller, dude.
Mark Cuban, I grew up watching him on Shark Tank, dude.
I love that.
In Mr. Murray's class.
I said I was gonna go on there with the remote control drywall cart. For real.
I could see that
all day. But no, yeah, that shit's awesome. What he did with the medicine and whatnot, because that shit is. I mean, it's just ludicrous. They just get off on people needing medicine. They charge the fuck out of everybody, and then they give people shit that's just gonna get them hooked on.
Well, it's not just medicine. It's the consumer. Yeah. Like we're just consumers, you know. At the end of the day, I want to be less of a consumer.
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
for sure. But it's hard in today's society because that's what we're groomed to be. Instead of being self-sufficient.
No doubt. Well, everyone's just worried about keeping up with the Joneses. I mean, it's just honestly like I think it takes being around like the full circle of life, man. Like I've been around like life and death. You know, I've been around it all. Like, I've spent more time around death than, you know, maybe your average person. And,
you know,
and, like, that type of shit really kind of shapes your outlook on, like, what's important to you.
For sure.
You know?
For sure. A lot of people don't. It takes shit, you know, whatever it may be, that could be traumatizing to people to happen in their lives for them to have that experience to where they have a different outlook on life and how they go about shit. But it can come in many different ways for everybody. Everybody's different, and how you choose to act on it, because you can still have that revelation and choose to still live that same life that you are living and not act on the new perception and what you feel you should do. You're just going to do what is expected of you. What's expected because of the general output on what the world does, you know.
Yeah.
But you got to do what the fuck you want to do with life at the end of the day. Don't waste no time fucking around because of, like you said, keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah, no, at the end of the day, you got to be happy, though, and you got to be real with yourself, what you want to do to maintain what you want, like, what makes you happy, you know, because you really could, you know, some people, you know, I know plenty of people that, you know, working makes them happy, you know, they don't really have, much of a family or a partner, but like they do what makes them happy. Now,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's really what makes them happy, but you can only respect what someone's doing, and that's how I see like pretty much everything. You can really only respect other people's decisions, because I don't necessarily do things that other people agree with, but I can only hope that they respect mine.
All day. Like you said, some people. Everybody's different. Some people are fulfilled with what they do as their day job. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
If you do what you do
for I get fulfillment.
Oh, I do.
You get fulfillment too.
We get flashes of it.
Yeah, and when you come to a place and it's just a skeleton of a building and you leave and it's looking, clean as fuck.
Oh, you love that.
You love that.
But at the end of the day, like I said, that those flashes of fulfillment do come, but it's different when you have a passion.
Yeah.
For whatever it is you're doing.
No doubt.
But like I said, not everybody can just take their passion and go make a living.
No.
You got to be realistic.
No, you do.
But at the end of the day...
But you got to understand that, though, too.
Me and you, like I said, people that take pride in whatever they do, you look at things, everything that you do, you get those flashes of fulfillment because you worked hard. We work hard.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever we do, it's got our name on it, and we know that, and we stand back and we look at it, and we say that we did that. Not everybody's like that. Some people just clock in, and they clock in, and they're just there. They're there until they got to clock out. Wherever I'm at, I'm going to show up and show out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You got to.
So, but when you find something that you really like to do, that pulls you in, just leap for it and do it. And even if you can't do it full time, if you just got to do it, like I said, if you have a 9 to 5, like what we do, like we said, it's hard to find time to do other shit, but that's what comes with being a human and living a life that's challenging. Yeah. Like you said, some people are fine with just, they go do their 9 to 5 and then they come home and then they watch TV or whatever and they hang out with their family and they make a living and they're fine. And that's cool, like I said, but some people want more.
Yeah.
And that's fine too. Everybody's allowed to choose. I feel like their pursuit of happiness is different for everybody.
Yeah, and the tool, like, regardless of what you want, like, the tools are out there to help you achieve whatever it is you want.
Anything.
You know, and
especially
that's where the whole,
that's
where the whole college conflict thing comes in. Because, like, unless, I don't know, the resources are out there if you apply yourself, like, in anything, you know. You can go out there and make anything of yourself. You know,
for sure.
If college isn't, an option for you, like, you got nothing to worry about. And, like, if college is an option to you, like, I might suggest if you have some, like, income like that to spend on college, or you could just as easily spend that on an investment and, apply yourself in, hands-on job or anything that really suits your interest. And, just think about the long term, I feel like a lot of the times people are just too caught up in what's, like materialistic things and like, I don't know.
For sure. Like you said, you do have to think about the future, but you also have to be in the present.
You do.
You got to live in the present.
That's very important.
I learned that because I was... For so long, I always lived about thinking, like, being worried about the future.
Yeah.
When you're worried about the future, that's not good.
No, because it pulls you away from living in the present.
But being prepared for the future.
Always.
That is incredibly beneficial.
It is. Yeah, but you really, like you said, you can't step away from living in the present. It's important.
Yeah.
To be there and live life,
And that's, like you said, that kind of comes with, too, like, because it's hard when you, especially for someone that has anxiety, when you're already thinking about, like, the future and you're stressed out and you're anxious.
No doubt.
And you're trying to live in the present. But meditating helped me a lot with that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Just kind of trying to calm the mind.
I have to try that.
Honestly, I fucking love it.
Anxiety's kind of that thing that, I feel like it never really truly goes away. It's on how you manage it and deal with it, But, yeah, I've had a lot of, good help, beneficial, help with that. And, it's not too much of an issue in my life as it was, let's say in the past.
Yeah, for sure. And it's tougher for other people, everybody's different. But whatever it is for you, could be reading a book. Everybody's different.
Yeah.
Something though that calms the mind, that helps you to kind of challenge yourself at the same time. Like I want to do some yoga because I think that shit would be
I used to do a little bit of yoga.
Incredibly beneficial for my fucking body because my shit is
not a hoe.
It's not very weak.
But it's super super good.
Yeah, for sure.
We did a lot of that, like in like hockey. We would strictly do like yoga sometimes, and then we would do like boxing, like a lot of different stuff mixed into like the off ice training. But yeah,
nice.
And no, seriously, I got a major respect for yoga for sure.
Oh yeah. Fuck yeah. We fucking done touched on so much shit, bro. I told you, we're an hour and 10 minutes in.
Damn, it's been that long.
Let me see real quick. I want to know what are some of your favorite conspiracies.
Here we go.
This is what we wanted to get into.
Conspiracies.
Yeah. I want to know, because you are the fucking conspiracy guy. You know the good ones.
There's a vast
and I know people like
array of conspiracies, that we could, touch on.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily going to claim, any of, these conspiracies as beliefs.
No, we're just going off of
But I think as a person who likes to think critically, you don't necessarily just listen to everything that's, told to you.
For sure.
So, I think it's important to hear out different perspectives, whether that may be, about anything. But there are some things that, like, you can't deny. One of my favorite ones is like the weather control and like weather modifications. Like,
yeah, so let's hear that, because you told me a little bit about that.
That's some real deal shit. And what it's used for, like,
you sent me the video of them making.
The cloud seeding machine. Yeah, I mean, but it's. I think it's so cool because people just don't even really know about that. Like, it's not even like I don't even know what like the uses are for.
That's why no one will ever believe it. You know.
But it's like they can take away rain clouds and they can add rain clouds. They can make tornadoes. They can make hurricanes. That? Like, and I'm
that's some weird ass shit,
dude. I did some digging, quarantine bullshit, having a lot of time on your hands. I might have, dove a little deep into the dark web,
in the rabbit hole.
But I've fallen into some rabbit holes before. But
it's all good.
But the weather modification, it just really makes you think, like, why, like, what is it for? Because you can look up patents and stuff, like the U.S. Registry of Patents and everything. Like, there's thousands of patents for weather manipulation devices and strategy. God. Yes, dude,
it's fucking weird.
And I could pull it up on my phone right now.
So they're just making weather every day.
Well, so I don't know if it could it could be used for maybe farming or like, I don't know. Like, there's
that's fucking weird.
It gets deep, and it's like,
what about aliens?
That's a tricky subject, because you can, the way I like to look at like these, what ifs is like from, different perspectives, and like if you think about aliens, there's, some groups of people that deny aliens tend to be more religious and more like, I don't know. If they're more religious, like they think it's pretty much just
religious,
just us and like God's creations.
Yeah,
so like
angels and whatnot.
It's kind of a conflicting topic if you're a religious person to believe in aliens. And on the other hand, if you're, you know, if you believe in like traditional science and everything, like you might be inclined to believe that aliens do exist.
Yeah.
You know, and it's really it could go either way, because if they're covering up aliens, then like someone's world is fucking blown up. And if there's not, then like, you know, just as equally the other person's world is blown up, you know.
Bro.
But there's I don't know, there's some supporting facts, you know, I guess for either.
Dude, there's been a lot of shit I've been seeing on the internet about like, and like videos and like of shit like spacecrafts and stuff like that. Like they're putting out like, or just like weird shit in the sky, triangle shaped fucking like things flying through the sky.
You really got to take a step back and kind of like see what's being like put out for you to learn about. Yeah. Like if it's aliens or something, like, I mean, not a lot of people know this, but there's a branch of the government, like, or military, dedicated to psychological operations.
I believe that.
You can look it up. It's psychological operations.
Yeah.
And they're official. And they've been around. And you know, I just think that a lot of the, I don't know, it's not really much of a conspiracy, but just kind of like an observation about like how society has just all become so media driven and like just controlled by media. Yeah. And it's like I've tried my best to get off that. Like I'm on Facebook, and really like I use Facebook, right, man. I got work groups and like Marketplace and stuff. Like I like Facebook.
Granny wants to get on there and say happy birthday.
But man, I feel like
to post a pod on the Facebook. But yeah, some social media. Social media. That's another fucking thing. Like, it can be so good sometimes, beneficial.
Yeah. No, especially like if you got a business or something. Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. And then on the other hand, it's the people that are on there all day, like scrolling. They're depressed because they're looking on there and everybody
comparing lives and stuff, and it's like, you know, what you see on social media ain't necessarily really what you get in real life.
Except when I wake up, now I told D, like, now when I wake up, I try to go at least the first hour when I wake up without going on any of that shit.
Yeah.
Or looking at it. I would try to wake up and do all my stuff, whatever, meditate and shit. And because some people literally wake up and it's like, I used to do it too. Like, it's especially the generation that we're in, because we grew up, as we matured, we were in that era as like the phones became big and we had the technology. Like, we are part of that era, you know? And we wake up and we look at the phone. Like,
have you ever seen the show on Netflix called Black Mirror?
No, but I've been told many a times about it to watch it. It's that shit. It's that shit.
I mean, like, it's kind of outlandish.
Yeah.
But like, if you, I don't know, if you interpret like metaphors and stuff and like kind of like the overall meaning of like you can really apply a lot of that to what's going on, and it's kind of crazy, man.
Yeah.
Like, just with how much, you know, like there's like words, you know, like mind control and like conspiracy and like some like words like that are so, like, when they're spoken, like someone like will turn their head like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
And like, I feel like that's just like, that's put out there, you know, to create doubt. And
you
like,
told me, you were one of the people that told me about how the media will put shit out there to make it seem like it's very far-fetched. Like, when they put shit out there, and like Hollywood and shit too, and they put stuff out there and they make it look like it's not really possible or it's not true.
Oh, well, like, I think you might be like referring to like controlled opposition. Like, I mean, like when there might be like a conspiracy about something that might be like, you know, true, you know, like,
Because how many times, like you just said with the Black Mirror,
when there's a controversy, like, you know, in the media, there's always like an explosion of these two opposing groups, you know, and the media provides outlets for people to conclude with either side, like depending on how they're feeling.
Yeah.
And it's just a way to divide, you know, and to keep people into the consumer mindset and that like, you know, on a hamster wheel, you know, keep going, keep consuming, keep working, keep spending. You know, like if you can cut out like any like bullshit along the way and you can just like work and not spend so much in the consumer world, you know, and you could seriously set yourself up for the future to where you don't have to continue to work, you know.
There is a way.
I mean, it's achieved in many different ways, you know, and we could talk about every single way, you know, for days, you know.
All day.
But
the thing is, people try to make it seem like it's impossible to get to that point, especially a lot of the younger generation. I get it. Not everyone is going to start at the same starting point. Like, that is some dog shit. There's people that are starting in way better spots. If you come from a family that has money and you have a room to fuck around, and you come from the somewhere where you don't have shit, you know, those people are going to be at two different advantages. But you can still overcome.
You can.
You can.
You can.
It might be harder.
Dude.
But I always say, it's better to fucking, in my opinion, be the guy that gets it from nothing. Because the way that you enjoy that shit, someone that gets it where it was already given to them, they're not going to enjoy it half as much as someone that gets it out the mud. Man.
Exactly. They don't get that like enjoyment or fulfillment of like achievement, you know.
And it all comes about how you're raised, you know.
And it's not even a knock, you know what I mean?
No.
Like that's just.
I say all the time, if I was raised and I came from a rich family, would I be mad? Fuck no. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But would I be the person I am today if like I didn't go through some struggle in my life? Fuck no.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So you got to just take what you can, and the people that really want something out of this life will whatever hands they're dealt will take that and play that shit like
most
it
of
is
the
their
stuff
like
that really,
like that hand is their only fucking hand, and that is their lifeline because you have to play it like that.
Most of the stuff that really shaped me into like who I am really came from like having nothing.
That oh shit, yeah.
You know, like what really, like I gotta like it's a survival instinct. You know, a survival mindset. You know, like I've been there. You know, had to you know adapt that mindset. You know, plenty of times at a young age. You know, and it's just that mixed with like anxiety and stuff. Like it is a little tricky sometimes, but it does help having a close like you know group of friends and you know family. You know, there to support you and stuff, and yeah.
You got some love.
Just that mental support.
When you got that fucking love, man, and support from your people,
it is.
Like that's what I say. Like I'm telling you, you can have everything in this life, in this world. If you don't got fucking people to share with and to love you, you're not gonna fucking feel you're not gonna feel good. Because in order to enjoy this shit, we have to be enjoying it together. We have to be loving each other. We have to be embracing each other. And we can't be always fucking at odds just because this person thinks that way. Like, let them think that way, but let everybody live their life.
No doubt.
Don't force shit down people's throat.
No, because I don't want anybody telling me how to live my life.
No,
and
you're not going to tell anybody how to live their life.
Exactly. With that same mutual respect.
Yeah.
You know, it's
and
like...
that's very hard to get through to America because it's supposed to be free, but everybody's got their own perception on how we're supposed to act when, at the end of the day, like me and you said, I mean, we came from fucking, you know, like, we think we're so advanced, but who really knows? So
yeah, like
we argue about the shit that's not even worth arguing about.
Yeah, so like how humans evolved, you know, and like what if we had taken like a different evolutionary path, you know, and what if like, you know, the like Egypt and stuff like back like far like all that shit, you know. what if humans just took a different path in like a spiritual evolution rather than intellectual, or like not intellectual but physical, like, because really all of the intelligence that's being like advanced these days is all like artificial intelligence. Like humans think that we've come so far and like all this stuff, but really we just understand the technology that tells us. You know what I mean? Like
with all the stuff too, like we were just talking about, there's stuff that's like super unexplained in the world. No one knows how it happened or how it was built or who did it or what the fuck happened.
Mm-hmm.
And they try their best to kind of like paint the picture, but it's fucking crazy because nobody knows. No matter what the fuck you believe in, none of us were there.
Yeah, none of us were there.
Know. It's all either it's you choose to believe in something or you don't, and it's like whatever you choose to do or believe in. That's cool.
That's where spirituality comes into play, though, too, because you can, I don't care who you are, you can sense right from wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And there might be reasonings behind actions, whether or not they agree with, what your overall intentions are. But, like, definitely, like, spirituality is definitely a big part in human nature.
Yeah.
And, like, just with, like, acknowledging that, like, you can kind of understand that this whole, like, society thing, is kind of just put in place.
For sure.
For sure. And, really, like, I mean, understanding that, it's not like I just want to fucking, like, rebel.
Burn everything down to the ground.
I'm still going to work in the morning. Like, I got to do what I got to do to maintain my lifestyle.
But we want to break
get where
free.
I want to be.
We were just talking about that earlier.
You got to do what you got to do.
If you want to have any type of life, I feel like that is. I mean, like I said, everybody's different. If you're fulfilled with where you're at, me personally, I know that I want to have that financial freedom, and just to be able to take care of the people that I care about, and to also be able to have wiggle room. No one should ever be living like on like this, like their life is on eggshells.
Yeah, like I can't do this because I can't like afford to miss that, or
and then on top of that, you're not happy. You're with someone you don't love. You're just with them because you're lonely, or you ended up just accidentally having kids with them, so now you're stuck with them, or you fucking buy something that you can't afford and now you're stuck with it. Whatever it may be. Like I said, but whatever you do, because you're going to fuck up and do shit, and then there's no going back.
Mm-hmm.
You just keep rolling. But you just got to take that shit, keep moving forward, and make the best choice from there on out.
No doubt.
That's it. But life's a fucking long, crazy road, man.
It is. It's what you make it.
I mean, only being 25. We'll see what the fuck happens from here.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
I mean, it is 10 o'clock. We rolled on a good hour and a half.
Damn.
And,
doesn't even feel like that.
We fucking whacked everything the fuck out. So, I mean, you got anything to say to the people? What's good? I mean, this was a good-ass podcast. I know that everyone's going to enjoy it.
I think, shit, we'll always have the future to touch on more topics.
I know,
we hit a lot today.
He'll be back on, so I know you guys are going to be eating this shit up. But
I know I'm going to watch this later and be like, damn, I wish
I'm glad we did this.
Said something about this and that,
good. Yeah.
But I'm not going to lie, man, coming in here, this is the first time I ever even talked into a microphone, dog.
Hey, the vibes, though?
Like, the vibes are great.
Like I said, once you settle in...
Yeah.
It ain't even like, it's just the stew. It's just kicking it with Kist. And I'm glad I fucking had you on, my brother. Like I said, I've been waiting. I knew this was going to be good. We just sat and talked. This is the longest one yet, so I hope everybody eats this shit up. This is fucking kicking it with Kist. Episode 5. Like I said, my brother, fucking Anthony Quaglia. I loved it. This is good. So I hope everybody enjoys this shit. Yup. One more cheers. Cheers to the fucking pod. Stay tuned. We'll be fucking talking to you motherfuckers soon.
Yes, sir.
So, peace out.